Hi, Cyrus. Can you hear me?
Audio ठीक है, but now suddenly you're frozen visually. Hello?
No, I'm pretty much moving on my side.
Oh, how's that? I can't see it, but I can hear you. So we can continue with the audio at least. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know. Very complicated technology. I spoke to the chief minister to remove the lockdown so I can get things done, but no one's listening to me. It's really disheartening, yaar. Abhi kya
I
karu? I'm
they
I'm
should.
born in
They should.
19. Sorry,
No. Just I'm saying they should listen to you.
I'm born in 1971. It's very hard for me. I get very scared when people ask me to do anything with tech. Next time, call me to the bottom of the building where you work and we'll chat. I'm very good at that.
That's
But
great. Perfect.
but I apologize to anyone listening if they were waiting for us and now we are not visually. Can you see me at least?
Yes, we can see you.
Then why can't I see you? Let me call my tech in charge while we chat. Okay, my daughter's lost interest. She's not helping. Chalo, there you go.
Okay.
How are you
So,
doing,
Cyrus,
Gunjan? Huh.
yeah. I was reading about your child prodigy status, and I was really intrigued that you were so good in school. You were like this popular creative person, and you were already popular in at the age of 12.
You said all bad
How?
things. My dogs are going mad because of it. Just see, because of all the lies that have been said. I was horrible in school. I hated the experience. All wrong information, I think, more or less. But I didn't fail, and I wasn't thrown out. So that's the only good news that I can give you. But I don't know about creative expression and all that. But definitely try to avoid class by doing all the possible nataks, dramas, all these things. So I hope that continues. Young children everywhere decide not for art's sake, but to avoid sitting in a classroom, they go out and do different things. So I think that's a very good reason.
Yeah, so drama definitely helped you all your life.
Yeah, and all the girls went for drama. No? So as a young boy, I knew markets. I'm always a good student of markets. All the other guys thought, it's like a little like sissy and, words like that. We can't do all this and it's not macho enough or whatever. I just realized that all the girls would sign up for things like the poetry and the drama and all this, So I was, this is the place to go to. Of course, didn't help with my final score, either with girls or in life, but at least it was fun. It was great to be in a market where, we were very few. As in there were two, three other guys who had the same idea, idiots. Uh, I think one is happily married to a man. So, that was a that was a safe market. And yeah, so it was great. But now that you're making me think back, it was great fun at that time. Just want to get so bored in class. I don't know why anybody wants to, with due respect, you can't sit and listen to lecture after lecture after lecture. It makes no sense sometimes. It just goes over your head. So any distraction, if somebody famous came to school, things like that, oh, wow, it was great. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
And you
Gunjan,
continue to
sorry,
sorry, you were saying something?
I'm sorry, I'll keep talking so you stop me. What I did is whenever I've been called as chief guest to schools and colleges, I make sure to cow as much time as possible because I know that's what they want. As in, so they don't have to go back to the class, and I even tell them that I remember this is my job, this is my gift to you because I remember what it's like. So we just kill time here till the bell rings. Yeah.
So you kept exploring the market to by joining MTV Loveline also. वहाँ पे भी like Malaika, I understand Malaika was there giving advices. What were you doing there?
But again, Gunjan, look at my luck. There were more girls than boys in our field, in a sense. There were just all the people working around us, lots of girls also. I was really happy. Can't complain. Malaika's something else. Malaika just. I'm going to say this, and please don't take it wrongly. Malaika is one of the boys. Okay, she's like this sexiest woman that we know, and all the guys used to get jealous and turns heads wherever we went for events, parties, what's up. But she's actually like one of the lads, one of the guys. So you can hang with her, you can say anything, you can use dirty language, you can bitch, moan, gossip. I wish sometimes that we had gotten closer because she was really good fun, but geographically they live far away from me, so it's very difficult post work to meet them. I went back to my South Bombay palace and then I would not come out. But really, I must tell you, people don't know this. I think Priyanka Chopra is a bit the same also. There are a lot of these really sexy women with sexy avatars and all, but they actually have sailor mouths. They can really hang with the guys and probably get along better with the guys than girls. So Malaika was like that. Now that you bring it up,
Interesting to know. Malaika is like a boy girl.
exactly. There's a sexy side to her, obviously, and that's why she is who she is, and did so well and all that. There's no doubt. But her personality is really. I mean, she can hang with any of the guys, and she's. Oh my God, the bitching sessions that I've had with the Arora sisters. Oof. Hey, Baba, may God forgive us. Uh,
But there is someone who's saying, Cyrus, you are too hot.
oh no,
One of
that
the
must be my mother. You know how mothers are always encouraging and sweet. You know, no matter how ugly the child is, they always say nice things. My mom used to, show off about how well I did in class athletics, even when I came third, and there were only two children participating. But they gave first and third and no second. So even that day, she said, he did really well. He came third. I said, Mom, I came third, but there were only two people. It's actually the most insulting performance. But yeah, so mothers,
yeah.
Indian mothers are something else. Indian mothers can't, as with men, with boys, sons, I tell you, I don't know any Indian mother who doesn't deep down till the guy, if the mother is 83 and the son is 58, till then, when he comes home, she'll be khana kaya, sab theek hai. She'll literally take a rumal and wipe the brow and all. I mean, somebody should talk to the mothers. Let the guy go at some point, yeah. Because it's an unequal relationship. The love that he gets from the mother, he gets from no one else. And then once the mother is no more, he feels really inadequate because nobody gives him that kind of respect and love. So I think mothers really spoil us. It's sad.
Yeah, I know. So after Love Line, suddenly you were giving all these love advices and relationship advices, and then you come out with Bakra, MTV Bakra, which became, like a iconic thing in itself. How did you conceptualize and how did that come out?
So they both happened in 99 actually, around the same time. The Love Line is Sahel Bedi's concept, who works now with Josh. And she was like, I think, executive producer. She's Kabir's niece, so from an illustrious family. And so she loved this, she loves all this romance. And I only like the idea that we would sit in one spot, air conditioned, or sirf shirt ko change karne ka beech mein. So not too much work. So from that point of view, I enjoyed it. And of course, I always had first Malaika, then, there was Nafisa, Maria, then Sophie for a long time. And then occasionally when the girls were not well or whatever, they would get me models. Really hot models would come and be the partner. And also, what a job. Imagine getting up and going to work and the hottest women of India are going to be with you for about 8 hours. So, who can complain really? And all I have to do is talk nonsense, change the shirt, in between play cricket with the boys while the girls are getting ready. Some of them would take very long for makeup, but not Malaika. I tell you, Malaika was again one of the boys. In, out, tuck, tuck. So yeah, she was really different. But they're all great. I mean, I got good memories of everyone. I hope they say nice things about me. I don't know about that. But I think Sophie would carry extra deodorant. She knows I sweat. But we had great time. Great time. Bakra was very different. Bakra was actually most fun for not just me, but for all of us shooting because there are a lot of variables. So how to explain it? It's like, when you're playing a live sport as against or watching a live match as against a recorded match or an old game or whatever. So you don't know what's going to happen from that point of view. So we are on the road. Everything would go wrong. The mobile would not work. The car would not start. The Bakra we are targeting would walk out of the cab at the wrong time. The sound would not roll. The battery wasn't put. How much? I mean, you have no idea. If they shot behind the scenes, it was so funny. We'd be fighting, punching. We've had physical fights after the shoot because, I mean, after all that manner, nothing came on the camera. I mean, I'm telling the guy, he nearly killed me, boss. Put mirror footage. And, I mean, so that's fun for us as a group shooting and the adrenaline rush because when things could go wrong and there's always a bit of worry, the cops are there, will they catch us? Will the Bakra get angry? Will they become physically violent? Will the car be able to catch the guy in time to, patao him and all that? So there were so many factors that we all enjoyed the shoot. We did not enjoy the shoot for the creative. That was the least interesting. It was all this around it that was very. So it was a day's work. You come back like you played a game of cricket or football or something and you're tired, sweating. Very different from sitting with Malaika, wearing nice t-shirts in AC comfort and ordering food from Noorani's. Bolo Noorani, bolo evening, evening, tell me, bolo, bolo. So I missed that. That was well before Scootsie and all you guys have your fancy food today. We had in our area of Prabhadevi, the Tardio, we had Noorani's, Noorani or Noorani's. That's it.
So somebody also mentioned this here, which was my next question. Was Bakra scripted or was it more on, go on the way?
No. How can you script it? You script what you want to do. Oh, you mean that we all the time they ask you, "Nakli hai ya asli hai?" Dhobi's kid. That's why suddenly our popularity because of Bakra it went through language and class and all that. So suddenly people were watching it who never watched MTV, not urban Indian, hep youngsters, but everybody. So my Dhobi, the kid who came with the Dhobi, he was a 12-year-old. He used to ask me. He suddenly became a fan after ignoring me for the first 5 years of his life. And he said, "Sir, ये असली है या नकली है?" And he would argue why it was असली or नकली. But ये हो गया, वो हो गया. तो फिर आप लोग ने कैमरे की तरफ देखा. So I didn't understand till then just how people were looking at this show and taking it more seriously and analyzing it. And I used to feel horrible. how can they analyze our crappy shows? I mean, they're really crappy. They didn't see the lack of sincerity and effort we put in. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, but it was, it's not, we would, that was never a problem, try to do fake gags. That would be no fun. So we had a point. Our point is, for example, you take a guy in a taxi, you pick him up, and then you basically leave the taxi and give him a note saying that I'm a heart patient, now you drive the taxi, for example. So that's the plot. We stick with that plot and then we see what happens. And then all
Okay.
kinds of things happen. Yeah.
And one thing I
But it's not.
really wanted to know, even when I used to watch it, that bakra same था या bakra भी change होता रहता था according to his looks?
Yeah, well, that's a difficult question to answer. But I'll tell you what we did. We used a few actors who were repetitive, who would help us create the bakra. So then their faces would also become, so they also start getting recognition. So then they would come and tell me, boss, मेरे को पहचाना लोग and all that, in their mohalla or locality, suddenly people are talking about them and whatever. So we realized very quickly that it was cutting across different sections of society, the show, and people were watching it from, I believe Balasaheb Thackeray was a fan, for example. He called once and said that spoken perfect English and said that I would never miss Bakra at 3:30. I didn't know what
Wow.
to say. I thought some friend of mine was making, how we prank call.
Hmm.
So firstly, he called himself. There was no PA. I mean, but something told me don't take a panga about this. Just leave it. I was about to say Vikram, you CHUT, this that, and the other. I didn't say anything. But normally we pull each other's legs, in college all the time. Like, hi, Dhirubhai Ambani, or tell me. So we used to do all this rubbish. So he called him and said Balasaheb Thackeray. He said that in perfect English, and he said, I want to speak to Mr. Cyrus Broacha. I said, yeah, speaking. He said, I am a big fan of your show. Keep up the good work. 3:30, I stopped everything. We watched the show and all that. I was like, what? Then just
Wow.
something told me, अगर ये असली है ना, why take a chance? Okay, so at the Friday night drink up, they'll all make fun of me if it's one of the boys. ठीक है, it's not the worst beating in the world. But in case it's really him, why take panga? So I said, yes, sir, thank you and all that. And I put the phone down. And thank God it was really him. Otherwise, God would, I don't know what would have happened to, the ultimate bakra would have happened, I guess. The ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, so we got all that. We also had, sorry?
Sorry, you were saying something.
No, so various eminent industrialists who I met at parties and all, where I would be working as a waiter or catering, they would start talking about it. So I was quite impressed. You got from the dhobi to I remember one guy, what do you call these, parking attendant, a guy in a ganji and a short pant, kacha kind of thing outfit, that kind of guy. He
Hmm.
played a prank on me under Kent's Colony, my house where the bookshop is. What's the bookshop called? Crossroad. And I went up to him and said, "Kitna ho gaya?" And I know the rate is vaguely, it used to be vaguely $5 for the hour or 2 hours. So he told me 50 rupiah. Now, yesterday it was $5 for 1 hour. It can't become 50 now. So I just lost it because I thought he's just exploiting as usual. I screamed at him, MCBC, wake up. I won't say all this on the air, but I absolutely went for him. I have to tell you that I went for him because that's why it's so embarrassing. He looks at me and says, बॉस ये कैसा है तू सब लोग को बकरा बनाता है और अगर आप खुद बकरा बन गया तो ऐसा गाली करो and started giving me lecture. Then I had no face to show. It was so embarrassing. I said sorry. So that's the thing. But candid camera worldwide, I guess people just enjoy. Everybody likes to see other people suffer.
Hmm.
Huh.
Angad Bedi has joined in and he's saying, ask him
Ah,
a question.
hey, Gunjan, first you have to say, hey, Vinny, it's Frankie. You know what we did now in Khatro Ke Khiladi 2010, don't ask me which season. He and I, in a one trip in Brazil, overnight spoke with Italian accents for the whole night. And the girls in the bus, they started physically assaulting us at 3, 4 in the morning. Shut up, shut up. I was like, hey, Frankie, what are you doing, Frankie? Hey, Winnie, I gotta tell you, like the girls here. And our bad Indian Italian accents, we just went on and on. I love that guy. But I can't see him now.
Yeah, he's
Angad,
right.
he's a daddy. I can't believe my little Angad is a daddy. He used to spot me in squatting and all. And now this is what's happened. By the way, his dad is the great Bishan Singh Bedi. That's how we became friends
Yes.
firstly. The moment I
Yes.
realized that he's Bishan's son, I thought, you have to stay with me. Uh, fan for life. And by the way, Gunjan, Angad himself played under 19 cricket. Huh? He could be playing in the IPL right now.
Oh, wow.
Just he made a decision to go more for acting and let go of he was a left arm spinner like his father. Can't say that he'll be as good as his father, but he was apparently very good. I've seen him bowl a couple of times. Not bad. Not bad.
Okay, so Cyrus, you also wrote a book, 23 and a half ways to make a girl fall in love with you. Now, what is 23 and a half ways? And why,
See, in
why
Loveline,
this topic?
and I've written, Gunjan, unfortunately, they forced me to write many columns in this country for love, what do you call them, agony aunt columns. I've done for Hindustan Times, for Bombay Times. So after some time, I don't know why they did that. So we put it in a book form because people are asking me all the time, Indian men and our problems with women, and it includes me, right from the beginning, how to put out girls. You tell me, you're a woman. Aren't we amongst the worst? Especially young Indian men. Maybe they get better in their 20s and all, but college ke time mein, oh God, I mean, just everything is wrong. Give me an intro, yaar. Tell her you know me. They all think, and they think marriage. उसके बाद शादी हो सकता है उसके बाद. It's just direct, straight to marriage, and they're already in the Suhag Raat and they've reached Spain. And it's nothing. The girl doesn't know your name. The girl doesn't know who you are. The girl doesn't know you exist. Yeah, the girl thinks you're a stalker, a pervert, and some molester. So it's just normalcy is not there. So I said we must help Indian men understand to be normal is your best card to try and put our girl. If you can just present who you really are instead of putting
Yeah.
on some avatar and acting and behaving odd and funny and staring. Back in the
Yeah.
north, I mean, the one guy told me, "Isse pyar karta hu, dekhna," and he just keeps staring at her. And I said, "Boss, you can't do that. Yeah, in another country, her father will come and shoot you." So, yeah. So after all these ridiculous things, I said, "Let me help my people. Indian men are my NGO. I have to do something for them." So from my own failures, you know.
Mm.
Like for example, I talk too much. I don't listen. Every girl I've ever dated has told me at some point, "Boss, why don't you listen?" Which is now not just me, but I would say 50% of Indian men, including Angad. Angad doesn't stop talking. Neha doesn't stop talking. That must be I would love to be a camera in their house to listen to two of them because I said, Dad doesn't stop talking. So all of them are motor mouths. Can you imagine if the whole family is together? I mean, and if you're an introvert, you have no hope. Uh,
So what happens in your house? How is Cyrus Broacha as a
now,
husband?
my wife is very aggressive and not in a sexual way. She shouts a lot. So what happens? So that all the women in my house are alphas. Gunjan, I'll tell you honestly, my mother, my wife, and my daughter now who's only 14. While trying to put this live on, she got angry with me and walked off and said some rude things. So we live a very hard life here, the men. It's the opposite of most of India. Here, the women rule completely, and the men just hang around. And we are constantly told how useless we are, how we can't do anything. During lockdown, though, we were exposed completely. My famous story, which I've done on my podcast, and I swear my mother it's true. My wife said, "Ab koi nahi hai kitchen mein, so you have to do something." I said, "Okay, I'll clean the dishes." Because I thought cleaning the dishes, no, don't pakao khana and try to do all this nonsense which you can't do. I mean, it's just beyond my capacity. I said, "I'll clean the dishes." So now you tell me, Gunjan, please listen to anyone listening. What I did wrong, I can't understand. I cleaned only the front side of all the dishes and tried only the front side. And I made it a point to say, why clean the backside of the dish? We don't eat from there. We don't even really touch it. It just lies on the glass, and then you finish eating, and then you put all the buttons in. But the backside doesn't have any involvement. It's like, why do you iron the back of the coat if you're presenting a show on TV from the front? They don't see the back of the coat. It's like, point kya hai? She screamed at me for not cleaning the back of the dish. Until today, I don't have the logic. Can you please give me the logic? Can anybody listening give me the logic? What is the logic?
Of course, we need to clean the backside.
Why?
it's
But you eat
it's
from the
put on
front.
for you. It's
No,
put
no,
on
no,
for
no, 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 no. No, this is wrong. This is like racism. I can't take this. The front is where the food is. The front is where all the action takes place. वो नीचे जो है is just holding it up. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't get dirty. It doesn't get. Most people have clean tables, no? The table is clean where you eat from. So I fought like a. But they beat me, Gunjan. They beat me physically. You have no idea how bad these women are. Very
So you had
painful.
to do the dishes again.
Huh? Well, then I broke one also because of not in the argument, but in the course of my hands being shaky and all that. So I was thrown out of the kitchen and I was asked to do other things. Now I'm only in charge of the dogs. Thank God. Which so far I have managed. I wash the backside and front side of the dog, so that's okay. No problem.
That's amazing. I'm just laughing on this live. I've not laughed that much in like some weeks now.
This
This
will
is
be very hard for men. You should do another show where you ask men to tell their worst stories. Lots of men have been exposed because as much as we think we are libertarians and what is the right word? Feminists in a sense. Most of us we think we're liberals, well, brought up and all that. End of the day, we have no idea, no clue what to do in the house. Suddenly, I didn't know how to clean the pot, for example, that there are 3 bottles involved with different colors. I was like, "Ye kahan se aa gaya?" It's inside, in the bathroom, there's a cupboard. I did not know this cupboard existed. Open the cupboard, there were bottles and gloves. I said, glove kahan se aa gaya? It's like a cricket match is going on. The bloody yellow gloves, which look like some bad play, in college or something, that the murderer wears. I was stunned at the kind of discoveries. And lots of men I spoke to the same thing. No idea, boss. Cupboard tha. Sitting in the toilet was a very nice blue. It looked like one of those mocktails. When you go to
oh,
Thailand and all, they give you in the pool and you're sitting in, whatever. World is suffering. We should not discuss mocktails, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so it
So
was a,
when you're talking
uh,
about living in the house, you guys just did LOL, Hase to Fase. All comedians, all the best men and women who can make us laugh together in one room, and they don't have to laugh. I mean, what concept was that, and how did you decide to take it on?
it was, oh, we did it because we need money, but I thought it would be much easier. Okay, because when we were meeting and all, it was great fun and whatever. But once it starts, if you start acting or becoming your normal self, your chances of survival are very low. You have to either, here's my theory. If you're extroverted like me, you've got to go into a shell. If you're introverted, you may get away. Like Gaurav is more, in a sense, he's fun, but he's quiet. And then he explodes a little bit. I think we had to go the other way. Some of us, like Suresh, me, who are basically loudmouths. Because if you relax and talk like I'm talking, and you're going to smile. You won't stop. You know, your brain is rattling away, your mouth is rattling away. It just happens naturally. So actually, it's like I don't know if you like cricket, but it's like batting in a test match in the old days. You have to really watch the ball. You have to concentrate, and these guys are they're all really nice guys. You know, all really nice people, but they're all very competitive. The moment that bell rang, let me tell you, suddenly switch ho gaya. Adhar Malik is suddenly trying to look at me and get me to smile just from his face. I can tell he's like a predator. He knows he's wearing me down with this half. He has this half cynical grin for everything, which is not a full grin. And Sunil Grover, I swear on God, there's some genetic fault here. Uska jo muh hai, it's already a smile, but it's not a smile, so he's already got a smile. But it stays like that, slightly open. And he did that piece he did of reverse talent piece that he did, where it's really bad and kuch hota nahi, kuch plot nahi usme, kuch presentation nahi actually. So it's an anti piece which he did as a performance, which is actually quite an intellectual piece of comedy in the middle of all that loud comedy. I was dying, I keep looking down and all these techniques that you have to use. There are many, I'll tell you if you ever get on that show. One you really get away with is basically trying to blow your nose. That's a very good technique. They can't call you. Because the cameras would catch, if your face is like this upwards, the camera will, there are 42 cameras, there's no way they won't catch you. And they're all khunnas, people who hate, only the people who are hated by production people of the world were selected on that show. So they're all waiting to catch you. They're sitting there. I believe Baman and Arshad were the worst, and they're like close friends. But they were like unbelievable, just trying to get everybody out as fast as possible. But it was fun. And people think it's like Big Boss is not like Big Boss at all. Big Boss has a lot of anger and animosity and that kind of thing. Ours was a really fun group. Of course, they would call me uncle and chacha to sun sakta and all that. But other than that, they were very nice. Yeah.
So who is your favorite comedian in today's scenario, or the people who were there with you in that show? One
Gaurav is
person you
fantastic.
think.
Gaurav is
Gaurav?
fantastic. I mean, if you follow his stuff that he does on this, he's just another level. Yeah, he's just unbelievable because he just doesn't stop. I'm thinking this guy, he'll never get a girl. I mean, end of the day, I mean, it's horrible his behavior. Just one way he comes out with a fake ass. Oh my god! I mean, then I mean, he doesn't have to do anything after that. That fake ass is so bad. It's just so wrong. It's yellow. It's half a sari draped on it. It's just nonsense. They're all great. Yeah. The guys we work with, I mean, Akash, he's very deadpan. Adar, very deadpan. Suresh, thank God, got destroyed fast because we go back a long way, so it's so tough not to laugh. He's like that guy in class you're friends with, yeah, your classmate type. He's horrible.
Yeah.
Very bad man. The girls were so vicious. Malika and Aditi, when what they don't show you on my footage is they spent 2 hours abusing my privates, my performance in bed, how my wife is frustrated, one with a Delhi accent, one with a Marathi accent. And I don't know if I can use the language they use, but they edited all that. It was, oh, how can I not laugh? The thing was, uski बीवी इतनी frustrated हुई ना, I heard she's with a waiter. I'm like, what? This is the kind of conversation that they're having just to make me laugh. It was so. I mean, I'm telling you tame things. Like I can't tell you. I mean, body parts, sab kuch hai usme. And they didn't add any of that. And they should have added because I managed well over an hour. I managed, and I was dying inside because they were really funny. Malika, though, God, I mean, she's just ridiculous. She's like this Mrs. Sharma from somewhere in South Delhi. And
Yeah.
in all that, she's making these sexual comments that actually you will not hear. And oh God, another is saying with that Marathi Bai accent, and then Suresh coming in. He tried to also join in with some Bengali, then he stepped to Parsi, then he went to Malayali because he lost interest in his own acts. So I was laughing on different levels here, what was going on. But yeah,
It's
they were
quite
all good.
it's quite hard to stay safe from the cameras and not appear smiling over there.
No, because they cut and show you only the end result where I finally break. But it was 2 hours of non-stop sledging. What the Aussie cricketers were famous for? They sit close by to the Indian batsmen, and abuse them. Now we do it. So how much can you take now? Everybody has a breaking point. I
Yeah.
never got angry. It was not insulting in that way to make me angry, but it was really, there were parts of it were hilarious. They were insulting. It was like roasting you, but it was funny roasting. And basically to do with my sexuality, my sexual prowess, my sexual ability, my physical prowess, my wife's frustrations, how sad for my wife that she married me in that area. Just use your mind with MCBC, all the gullies. Now just put it together. It was horrendous. Yeah.
Okay, so
But they
two
got,
different things that apart from comedy that you did was interviewing Shashi Tharoor and the TED Talk.
oh yeah, I've done a couple of TED Talks. I've introduced Shashi Tharoor more than once also. I can't remember much. See, the people don't understand, our politicians are also, some of them are very gifted talkers and they enjoy banter. It's not like all of them are touchy and like Nitin Gadkari. Fabulous talker. If you ever cross swords with him, he'll give it back to you. I mean,
Hmm.
and he'll give it back to you in banter. He's not trying to put you down by being rude or something. Just like funny. Devendra Fadnavis. I had super banter with him. I mean, I remember saying, because I live in Malabar Hill, and I even asked him, sir, मेरा daughter का birthday के लिए can I use the Sayadri guest house or Varsha, because our house is so small. So he said the reply was super. He said, you better ask my wife, she won't let me use the house. So they're spot on. Some of them are very good orators and speakers and all. Shashi Tharoor, though, if he decides to raise the level of English, then only he understands what's going on. So it's always fun. But he's a great guy. Yeah. I wish we could show some sides of politicians which people don't see, where they are actually witty. And many of them are. Chidambaram is, for example. I'm just trying to think of the guys I've met. Lalu Prasad Yadav, I've interviewed in
Hmm.
before the Bihar election 2004-5, I think, with the Raghu Rajiv of Roadies. They were with us. They were producers at that point. We camped in Patna for 3 days. And, typical Indian Mehman culture, they looked after us like gods, but no interview was coming. But there was lassi pilado, this, that. Every time we came for food and drink. And, it's a huge sprawling place, and people are coming for their tickets and arguing and fighting long lines. Lalu would come, Lalu would go. Finally, on day 3, he gave the interview. He was hilarious. He was so funny. And he spoke very decent English with his accent. What people don't know is that he's an LLB, which he first
Yeah.
told me.
Hmm.
And then what is the funny thing he said? He said he made one comment about spending more time under the. He said it was more like with the buffalo than with my wife, but it sounded sexual and it was really funny. And and then at one point he broke into some KL Saigal song because he figured out we are a music channel. Till then he thought it was a news channel kind of interview. Because we were talking about Yuva and kya role hai samaj mein, this and those generic questions. And so
Hmm.
suddenly I brought in some other element of music, and then he started talking about music. And he started singing. It's an old 30 song. Now he's the chief minister. You're in Patna. You keep rolling. We all had to watch, listen, clap. All the chelas clapped. Sir, eko, badhiya, sir, badhiya. All that is going on in the background. Now let's do 3 songs or 4 songs. We have to play. We have to record, and not stop. But he was really nice and very welcoming. And at the end, gave us presents and all that. So. So I've actually had quite a good time with a lot of these politicians. I should not say bad things about any of them.
Hmm.
And your bhav just goes up a little bit in a room and they call you by first name or something. And then suddenly all the chumps are, ye kaun hai? Well, like Mr. Fadnavis at one show we did, NSCI, he's saying, just call me by my first name, because the second or third time we met and also he remembered and he spoke nicely. And then I could see that everyone looking like, ye bhi mantri hoga ye. MLC at least, come se come. Yeah. So we've
Okay,
had
so someone
some.
asking, who is the wittiest actor in Bollywood, as per you?
Okay, I'll tell you. And it's amazing because I grew up as an Amitabh Bachchan lover. I mean, my generation is like, there is no actor, right? 80s to early 90s is, I mean, that's it. And the two funniest guys that I've spoken to, Shah Rukh and Amitabh. Differently, Shah Rukh is more, me and Shah Rukh are a little similar, if I dare say, in the sense we are brash, loud, and we like to say all kinds of things. Amitabh Bachchan is like an Englishman, that style. He's just completely deadpan. Now, I've got so many stories I can tell you. I mean, I could tell you one, but it involves one bad word. So that's why I feel scared to tell it on this medium. But if you give
We
me
can do
permission, I'll tell you.
we can do beep.
Okay. So I won't say the full word. We are interviewing him, and it's in a small area in Tardio in our studio. And he's the great Amitabh Bachchan coming for the first time, and all the guys are my age group, so we are all grown up on him. So there's one of the few people we are little, I mean, he's killed 90 people per picture. Angry young man. So, all that's in our head. And we all
Okay.
sort of worship him. So there's that fear. He comes, he sits, he chats, everything's good. And I've been warned he has to stay in a good mood. If he goes in a bad mood, he'll walk off or something like that. So you make sure you don't upset him. But he was really nice and he was cool and everything. So my producer, Vasant Valsan, also Bakra producer, he says, अच्छा सब लोग अभी चालू है shoot, mobile बंद कीजिए please, सब लोग off पे, mobile off पे please, सब लोग, in that voice. And we start talking. And India's most famous voice goes, oh, तो मेजर साहब ऐसा picture है, इसमें ये है, वो है, this is that is the plot, ऐसा है, वैसा है. And we're listening and it's nice, it's fun. There's a little bit of joking, banter. I'm taking more chances. It's like a boxer feeling out the other boxer, all good. And then you won't believe it. Tring, 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 tring. Person on the PA screams, किसका phone चालू है? कौन है वो? MC, PC. He, in front of Mr. Vacha, because he just lost it. He thought, you interrupted the shoot. Just silence. And then India's most famous baritone says, Sir, wo MC, DC, मैं हूँ. And he put off his phone. Yeah. Can you imagine? Now, we don't know whether he's trying to be funny or he's actually giving us reverse slap, because you abuse in front of a senior actor like that for no... I mean, he wasn't it out of sheer frustration, you forget, he just got so angry. But he was just being funny, that it was really funny. I, of course, didn't make eye contact. I'm looking at his feet for the rest of the show, but he's great. Very, very dry humor. The first question I asked him in the first interview I did after that, when I had a little more freedom and liberty, he said his first acting. He said, I just asked him, like, do you think you're going to become this great icon? Or I didn't say exactly that, but whatever. And he looks at me and says, but my first role was that of a chicken, murgi. Huh? What? And then he explained in school in Sherwood Forest, he played the chicken, like a hen or a chicken. That was the role. I mean, and I was just, I was falling on the floor. I was like, what are you saying? From where to where? So I think these two have been fantastic. I got great stories on all of them. Salman is really what you see is what you get. There's no real put on. It's ridiculous. Like the cigarette is just out of the frame while we're shooting, and then it comes in the cut. He takes a few sips. Somebody gives a protein shake, takes a sip, goes back. Oh, tell me, yeah. Very cool, very nice. And the thing is, the first time I interviewed him was for a movie called Partner. I had drunk all night and come home at 4 because they had not confirmed the shoot. But by the time, and I had no mobile, so when I reached home, a written note from my mom saying shoot confirmed, be at Filmistan at 9 sharp. And I came home at 4, drunk as I can't tell you. Then this, applying mouthwash, this, that, feeling terrible. I vomited outside Lucky Biryani with the boys and the crew going there. Then he gave me soda and all that. And funny thing, I came there, he's absolutely sober, having cycled for 2 hours. And he had the night off or whatever, didn't drink, and I was drunk. So I think he was very happy. And then immediately he was telling me how to get over the hangover. And, so I said, boy, I'm damn sorry, but I can't even see straight. He said, oh, don't worry, man. Yeah, you just do this. Yeah, you take that. Yeah, you take that. Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. So thank God it was him. Imagine some other senior actor would be like, oh, how insulting. I was really, I thought there was no shoot. So, it was a Friday night and I just remember going berserk. So good stories for most.
Yeah. I can remember. Can you adjust your camera a little bit because we keep losing a face? Yeah, okay. That's better. Yes. Okay. So, Cyrus, I have a rapid fire for you. Okay. Of some 10 questions, maybe quickly.
Okay.
Let's start. Texting or tweeting?
Texting, because I don't know how to tweet. It takes me a long time. Technology is a problem with me. Okay, so texting I've mastered, but there'll be a lot of mistakes and all that, so I apologize.
Okay. Nickname your parents used to call you?
They all call me Sai, but my father, when you're a young man, you're like 13, 14, you try to be really macho amongst the guys and you want to, you talk with your mouth half open and you try to walk like Amitabh Bachchan or Vivian Richards or whatever. And, so that's the time you have to be very careful. And my dad would call me Sailu, which sounds a little girly. Yeah. So the boys heard him say Sailu. And so after they started calling me Sailu in the same fatherly, slightly girly way. So that was painful. Sailu. Very, very painful. I hope nobody picks that up again.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
Very bad. I can't even keep it now I don't. And the worst is when they tell you it's a secret. If you don't tell me, I might forget. But if you tell me it's a secret, I have to talk. I don't know, there's something wrong with me. I've just not been able to. And they're bad secrets. Like people having affairs and all that, where you destroy lives. I just can't keep quiet. So don't tell me. I beg you, don't tell me. Really. And somebody just holds the hand and says, I got to tell you something. I'm seeing this guy. What? No, no, I have to tell your husband now. Just stay here. I'm telling him. It's
Oh
like that.
God, that's really scary.
It's damn scary. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh,
Okay, your first celebrity crush.
oh, Zeenat Aman, Parveen Babi. Oh God, it's going to age me, huh? People are going to put the I put the match together. But Zeenat Aman was so sexy. I mean, you look back to the Amar Akbar Anthony time and all that. I mean, I love long black hair, and that's the look for me, man. They were may I say this, wholesome women. Today, so many girls are so skinny, they look like teenage boys. Okay, girls, if you're listening, don't become teenage boys. It's hard for us. You don't understand that. Oh, those women were women. Maybe everybody says that of their generation, but really, I mean, and Parveen Babi for a time was so pretty. I mean, God, Rekha was gorgeous. Uh,
Yes.
oof, you're making me
So,
sad now.
okay. So, do you snore?
Sorry,
Do you snore?
do I snore? That you'll have to ask my wife or somebody else's wife. Ding ding. No, I don't think I snore. I used to room with Kunal a lot when we did plays, and he used to snore, and I couldn't sleep. And it was there. I remember sleeping on the lobby on one of the hotels in the south for one play we had gone for. I couldn't take the snoring. So snoring. But now apparently there's some medicine which stops it. Somebody was telling us. Like there's actually a medicine which stops snoring. So, but I hope not. I don't think so. I'm a very
Okay, so
light sleeper, Gunjan.
yeah, if you could have been any flavor of ice cream, what would be that?
Tutti Frutti sounds like Silu. Don't you think it's the right match? Tutti Frutti, Silu. When Indians say it, it sounds okay. But when foreigners say Tutti Frutti, it just sounds more like, yeah. But I like the flavor caramel a lot. I don't know
Okay.
exactly how to explain caramel ice cream, but some have it, some don't have it. So I'd like to be that. I love that flavor. Now, see, you're making me, I'm missing Zero Taman, I'm missing caramel. This is what my life could have been.
I know. Life has really changed right now.
I met her, I saw her on a plane, and I didn't recognize her because she had put on weight from Delhi to Bombay. And she was sitting just on the aisle on that side, and I was on the aisle on this side. And then when I recognized her, she had sunglasses on. I didn't have the guts to go up to her. Can you imagine that? That even at the age of 40 plus, you're scared to go up to the kind of people you grew up on. You talk, any young, star comes up or whatever, not a problem at all. If it's
Hmm.
Topsy or something like that, I'll go and say hi myself, even if they don't know who I am, doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
couldn't go up to Zina Daman. I was like, God, oh, it's gone. I'm not going to get locked down, no flights, no Zenith, no nothing.
Okay, what is that one thing that annoys you the most?
People who make me repeat. Because I talk really fast, so half the time people say, what? Pardon? That and the way my family tells me to pick up something after I pass the area. Why do people do that? You pass the area and then they say, can you pass that chair? But the chair was there when I was there. Now I'm already here. Now I have to go back and give the chair, which I think is wrong, technically.
Yeah, even I don't like that.
I don't like that. Really wrong.
Yeah. So, what's the
Hmm.
strangest thing you have ever eaten?
Oh, in Kenya, they give us something which is like alligator meat in that carnivore restaurant. I felt
Oh,
very uncomfortable. They forced us to try it because there's some shooting going on and all. And God, I felt, I can't tell you. Even now when I think about it, you've taken me from Zenith Aman to that terrible incident in 5 seconds.
yeah, zoom out the thing now. So, this was the best question I could put up. Okay, so what are the three words that you would like to describe yourself in?
Short, fat, ugly, um, not interested, insincere, and no sense of humanity. And I hate building WhatsApps. I hope those are enough words.
Enough words, yes. Yes, so that brings to the end of this session today, Cyrus. And thank you
Yes.
so much. It was amazing. I just kept on laughing. I'm sure the viewers also enjoyed it a lot.
No, they've all gone to sleep. Don't worry. Now, because of lockdown, what else do we do? Sleep, snore. I go ask my wife if I snore right now. I
Okay,
don't think she
the
cares.
best.
Doesn't even accept that I live around here at the moment. Anyway, Gunjan, thank you so much. I'll go take my medication now. Bye bye.
Yeah. All right, bye. Thank you so much for joining in.
My pleasure.